Motherhood, sex, marijuana in the motherfucking building. Yes, indeed. This is the promo video we are using to promote our shit, the shit that we selling in order to keep us going, in order to donate to charity, in order to be bigger than what we are now. So yes, if you haven't gotten your merch, this is the website to get it at. If you see the website address right here, it's shop.spreadshot.com, MSM gear, all. Yes. And you can see we have new items in the building. Yes, we have a whole bunch of new items in the building, and they are very quite affordable. The shipping ain't bad. Matter of fact, half the time you get the shit before the record time that it tell you that it's going to tell you to get here. So why don't you get yourself, get your girl, get all your peoples to get on our website and purchase some items. As you can see, we got face masks, we got bandanas, we got a whole bunch of new shit that y'all need to cop. And speaking of shit that you need to cop, a Valentine to my body. What's good with it? You need to cop this book too. This is a $20 one click, but it is a must read. It's a must have, and you must get it on motherhoodsexmarijuana.com. Indeed, absolutely. Get to our website, motherhoodsexmarijuana.com. Check out all our items, of course. Make sure you visit our websites, be involved in new announcements, and yes, of course, check out our promo video, our videos, our shows right here, as we have our episodes listed right here, as well as YouTube. Indeed. So that is the promo of the day. I am Kai Storm. I'm always in the motherfucking building.
Slowly but surely.
That's what's up, and you are here with us. So let's get to it. So we gonna kick it off by saying motherhood,
sex, marijuana, the motherfucking building.
Have to cut that part out. What exactly you want us to introduce is your name, or did you want a nickname? How this go?
Okay, so one of my aliases that I go by is Empress. So I guess we can say Empress.
Okay.
Right. Cool. We got Empress in the building, and
what's up, Empress?
And we're gonna get into a little bit of girl talk, a little bit of love talk, love that went it went up and down, it went all around, and we talking about it because it is what it is. Motherhood, sex, and marijuana involves a lot of different levels and shit, and love, yes, sex, and all of that, and falling out of love is part of the fucking deal. So let's get into it.
Can I'm gonna just say something real quick, because I'm gonna excuse myself for 2 minutes, and then I'll let y'all go at it, and then I'll just rejoin. Just ride with me on this. But I just wanted to say to everybody, including Empress here, that when I met Empress at a mutual friends party, I was just really impressed with her energy. I was impressed with her mind, her intellect. I wanted to know more, and I wanted to chat with her more. It was in that conversation that I told her about this podcast. When I did, she was very warm to the idea. And so I knew that you would like her too, Queen. And also, she has a very compelling story. And I'm really grateful that she's willing to share that with us, because it's important. And I love that this platform is unfiltered. It's It's just pure. It's just pure and truth. So, like, Empress, thank you so much for being here with us. You are such a gem. I love you. Okay, don't get weird by this, but you are one that deserves love, light, and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna let y'all get at it. I just wanted to give that little intro on the Empress, and I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
All right, that works. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Queens.
Of course. And because this is my first time meeting Empress, I'm just going to say that, your story, I've only heard bits and pieces. So, and so once you decide to once you start telling your story, it'll be my first time hearing it to the fullest, and at the same time we'll be able to go forward, ask questions, and what I'm saying, see what exactly what's the gist of the story. So first and foremost, feel free to introduce yourself, feel free to talk about anything that you would like to talk about, as far as businesses that you may be involved in. And of course, let us know your story and the details of it.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. So, hello everyone. I am Empress, and I am currently a college student at the University of Washington, Seattle. And I am also, just a young lady that's out here trying to live and learn and also accept life for what it is. I am also an aspiring podcaster. So in the future, I plan on, releasing a podcast called Balance and Pretty. And the gist of that is just, making sure people understand the importance of embracing who you are and not allowing, society to determine what beauty standards mean for you. So balancing pretty while being independent, not necessarily, jocking, or I wouldn't even say jocking, but knocking people that are dependent, but just kind of finding ways to work out life that looks good for you and its most authentic. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And yeah, I also just started a consulting business as well, Consulting Balance. My whole thing is just balance all together. And it's important to have this sort of mindset so that you can just have a clear mind and going into the world knowing that you can complete anything you want to just because of the root of being balanced. So that sums it up. I definitely don't want to do too much of who I am or what I do because I am very busy and I have a lot of accolades. And it's always simple because life doesn't have.
All right. Well, yeah, that as far as your story from the business pieces that I was told by Ruby, it's a relationship piece, and basically you you got involved, you were involved in a relationship that with a man that you truly loved, and things kind of went astray, and that's one of that's the main theme of this conversation. It's about that love is not always love. You know what I mean? Things happen, and especially now that we are living in COVIDville, all of us live in COVIDville, no matter we rich, poor, we no matter, all of us live in the state of COVIDville, country, world. That's it. So no matter where in COVIDville, there are certain things that we are now finding out about our partners. There are certain things that because we're spending a whole lot of fucking time with our partners, we are absolutely reaching new plateaus with our partners, and certain things are being revealed, certain things are being, certain things are good truths, some things are bad truths. And in your situation, certain truths had to be revealed. So go ahead and just take us from the top and just bring us down in the history.
All right, so pretty much I'll just kind of lead off to 2020's timeline, but kind of centering back to when I first met this person. So I will not say his name, but you know, there was this person that I met at an event where my aunt just needed some help with volunteering and things like that. So I did see this person at like a previous event, like maybe years prior to that. But I don't know, I was just able to recognize this person's face. And you know, when I recognized the face, it was just more so like, hi, I remember you. Like, you did this event, and you know, it was really cool. I liked your vibe, you know, camera and stuff. Like, it was really cool. And I just wanted to say that. And I just left it at that. So after that, I guess there was some sort of mutual connection just from that conversation. And then when we just started to hang out, we were not necessarily together. It actually took a while for it to progress into something. And even then, it was still like, you know, we both just doing our own. And I will say, when we actually did start to like, hang out and stuff like that, it was beautiful, but it was also just some on both ends. And I just feel like it was more so like that because of the way life was. Like, he was busy with his work. I was busy with work in school because, you know, I am a college student as well. And he already lived that life. But, you know, with his occupation, he pretty much just does a lot of things where he works with a lot of women, and you know, there's a lot of parties and stuff involved. So there's like hella temptation, and then with me young and stuff like that, I would just go out and party, and you know, there's guys that wants to like hit me up and things like that. And you know, sometimes you like the young attention, so you just kind of go out and explore it. But I will say, in our dynamic, we did have a lot of people that were talking in our ears, but more so for me, it affected me a lot, especially with my insecurities that I didn't know were insecurities at the time until I did some reflection. So we ended up breaking it off, and you know, that devastated me. But also at the same time, it helped me to regain focus when it was coming to my classwork because I couldn't even focus on my school. And so at the time, the first time I was a resident assistant, and you know, I just had a lot on my plate. And you know, having someone that's already established, you know, we already did that life. It's time for me to build my own life. So I just gained this focus so where I can just do what I need to do. So I guess with me understanding that, and also understanding that this person wants to continue to live his life and do what he wants to do, I thought it would be cool if we just kind of had a like platonic relationship. And we meet up, and during those times, I would think that I would meet with him so I can muster up the courage to say, you know, I'm over you. But every time we met up, we were not over each other. So that eventually led to us rekindling the bond. Now, prior to that, you know, while I'm over here having these meetings with him and stuff like that, I'm living my life being single, you know, just doing whatever I wanted to, which was pretty fun. But, you know, it did get a little too carried away. And this is where, you know, we talk about 2020. And, you know, when we rekindle the bond, we also, again, not anything serious, but it's building up to that point. So while I was having my fun, I was also, like, you know, allowing my ex to come in to have the fun with me as well. And this ended up being a situation where the guy that I was messing with prior to, you know, coming on the bond with my ex gave me an SD. And, you know, I never would thought, like, I would never would think that I would have an STD just because of the way that I carry myself and things like that. And when I got it, it was like, oh my God, like, it just made sense because, again, you know, when you're young, you want to go out and have fun. And when you have too much fun, that's when you realize that life is trying to teach you a lesson. So it definitely broke my heart knowing that I had to tell the person that I love that I gave them an STD because somebody else who didn't care about themselves was having too much fun. And then me just being affiliated in that fun, it just kind of trickled out to that. So this pretty much messed up the relationship. So I thought with my ex, and he didn't want anything to do with me. So while I didn't have this person around me anymore, I also was dealing with the body change because, you know, I had the prescription, not prescription, but the medications and stuff, antibiotics for my, you know, my STD. But I'm also having the birth control shot, and, you know, a lot of emotions and stuff like that. While I was also getting ready to transition out into the other realm, because, you know, I was a community college student and I was going to a university now, and, you know, moving to Seattle and stuff like that. So it was a lot of stuff going on in my life, to the point where I would just have breakdowns every day, especially with this person telling me, like, you know, like, I get it, we were not together, but it's the principle. Like, you and I were the only person having sex. I wanted to rekindle the bond with you and stuff like that. And you did this. And, you know, I get it, but also at the same time, it was like something I had no control over, but it was something that I needed in order for me to grow into my life. And there will also be times where I would know, like, how am I going to go to school? You know, the University of Washington, that's like a complex school. And, you know, moving to Seattle during COVID, where, you know, you don't really know a lot of the, well, you know people, but, you know, you don't know this new surrounding.
It's a brand new environment. It's definitely a brand new environment.
Brand new environment altogether. And I'm like, wow, like, how am I supposed to, like, go through all of this right now during this crazy time? And what's funny, you know, this, my ex, he actually graduated from, you know, this school. He graduated from the University of Washington. So I just thought, like, when we were talking and stuff, this would be the person that will help me and guide me through the resources and stuff, so that I can also have some sort of successful time while being at the school, and just having that being taken away from me just because of a situation, which I completely understand. But it was just very vulnerable for me. And I'm sure it broke his heart too, because, you know, like, men, they have their prides and their egos and stuff like that, no matter if they want to admit to it or not. But on a spiritual standpoint, I just feel like that separation was needed, because he had things he needed to deal with. I had things that I needed to deal with. And then growing into myself, it's like, okay, now that you've seen that this happened to you, what are you going to do moving forward? And I will say, ever since that situation, I've been abstinent. I've been practicing abstinence for like 8 months now. And, you know, I've been trying to figure out other ways to get closer into my spiritual faith and things like that. And just having an awesome and authentic time with being in Seattle. Like, I've always wanted to live downtown Seattle. And knowing that I am in this area, and on top of that, like, I'm at one of the best schools, and I'm starting businesses that I didn't even think that I would eventually do. I thought I would start a business after school, but I'm doing this now. And, you know, it's just, life doesn't end just because something else ends. And, you know, I don't even know if this situation is fully. All I know is right now that certain aspect, that's done. I'm not allowing nothing like that to enter into my life. And if somebody wants to come at me moving forward, they definitely have to come correct. And, you know, it's just not, I wouldn't even say it's not going to be an easier time to get to, because, again, I'm a person that I have standards, you know, I'm not just going to let anybody into my life. But I will say it'll just be more so of me identifying who I should allow there and who I shouldn't allow, and who I should keep at the platonic level and stuff like that. And even just entertaining people, you know, emotionally, like, can't play with people's emotions. And I just feel like that situation was very tough on me, and I'm still healing through it to this day, because it hasn't been a full year. But I do know, once I'm fully healed from this situation, I will be able to continue to teach people, like, you know, these situations happen. And what you need to do is be aware of how you're going to, like, get into it. So you don't want that to happen to you. But I guess that sums it up. But I just want to know, I just want to tell people, whoever, you know, was going through a similar situation, if you're just like coming across somebody that you care about, make sure you're getting tested regardless if you trust them or not, because you never know what someone has and you never know what someone is not telling you. And also, just make sure you're honest with yourself and don't allow your actions to like beat you up, because we can't prevent ourselves from doing things, but life just has a way of trying to teach us something so that we can become more of what we really need to be. So yeah, that sums it up.
Yo, honestly, I'm gonna tell you first thing I want to tell you as a 48, almost 49-year-old woman that has lived her life. First and foremost, because I ain't even asked you how old you is, but I'm gonna just put it that I'm older than you, and that's it. And based on that, I'm gonna tell you right now, life, first of all, things happen for a reason. One, that's number fucking one. Things happen for a reason. And when things are happening, like, you know what I'm saying? When things are happening like that, first and foremost, it's teaching you a lesson, and based on the lesson you learn is based on how things will move on in your life going forward. No matter what the mistake is, if you live past the mistake, that means that you were supposed to live past that mistake. You learn from that mistake and you use that to continue your life. You don't use that to hold yourself back. You absolutely don't, count yourself as, as less of a person because of that mistake. And you damn sure don't let that shit let that shit rock over your head. Now, the only way that it could rock over your head is if, you and your ex, continued some sort of relationship and he decided to keep putting it in your face. Like, at the end of the day, shit happened, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's either you forgive me and move on and we work through this, or you go about your way and that's it. But what we're not going to do is hold this over my head as blame, for years and years to come. Because that's not even motherfuckers that go to jail, they eventually come the fuck out of jail. You know what I'm saying? Some of them eventually come out of jail. So either way, you gotta learn to forgive and let go. Not forget, but let go. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's not only within that person, but it's also within yourself too. So, you know what I mean? And it's good that you're abstinent and until you feel free to be free with somebody like that. But even at that point, don't let this situation make you totally afraid. Like yeah, do like you said, you want to make the person go to the clinic first and give you a report, if that's what you need, then you go with that. But let's say it happens where you don't get that report and you still go for it. Don't let that kind of mindset hold you to the point where you're going to be thinking all the time that everybody is, going to be giving you some kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let it hold you back. You know what I mean? Because we've all made that mistake. We've all, you know what I'm saying? It could have been somebody that you know what I'm saying? It could have been the first person you ever fucked in your life. And then next thing you know what I mean? And so it's not something that you should definitely hold over your head. And that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that you actually came on the show, because women, especially in this society, you know what I mean, it's easy to want to hold shit, or to want to make a woman feel guilty about sleeping with more than one man, or you know what I'm saying, or having the desire to sleep with more than one man, and you know what I'm saying, there's all these things that they like to hold over a woman's head to make her feel like less of a woman, when at the same time you didn't do it by your motherfucking self. There was a whole nigga with you. So you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I'm gonna stop there.
And you know what, Empress, thank you so much for being brave enough. I think a lot of lessons can be learned from anything, but I had a very similar scare, and at the moment it was just like, oh my God, you know, this and that, and then all of these I think that as a society we tend to put these false narratives on each other and upon ourselves. I love to see you glowing. I love that you are clearly shining. And I love that somebody else is going to hear this that has gone through something similar, and they're not going to feel alone. They're going to, because we don't talk about this enough, you see? And I think that self-care is what is the real lesson. A lesson in self-care, a lesson in forgiveness, a lesson in true love. And also you mentioned that you weren't active afterwards. So you have actually sacrificed as well. And it sounds like whatever you personally are going on with your dude, who you clearly love, because if you didn't love him, you wouldn't be at this space as we speak. So I think it's beautiful. You know, if anybody here that's listening to this is going through something similar, let's talk about it. Talk about your experience. Talk about what pulled you through. If it was a book, if it was more spa treatments, if it was leaving yourself or isolating yourself, you know what I'm saying? Then why not? And I'm so excited for your future. I'm excited for if you and your, not even, he doesn't have anything to do with it. It's your empowerment. It's your beauty and the light that you possess.
Word.
And that's the same light that I'm pretty sure that he fell in love with you, for example. It's the same thing that your next person, whoever you choose, is going to be falling in love with you. So you're queen, Empress. I love you so much. Have you ever had a STD scare, Kai?
I gotta be honest and say yes, definitely. That's why I said, okay. You know, it happens to everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? It happens to everybody. And especially, you know, when, you know, not for nothing, if you, as a woman, start your sexual life early, you know what I'm saying? You start your sexual life early, and you don't have enough people educating you about sex and things around sex. Therefore you make silly mistakes. And because you know, New York City, well, shit, I think this shit is everywhere actually, where they have, you know, clinics where a teenager can, you know, go to a doctor's office, you know, cut school, go to a doctor's office. Moms don't know nothing about it, you know what I mean, and get, you know, sort of educated that way, you know. So you know what I mean. And it happens, and the reason why you cut school to go to the doctor and get educated that way is because something happened, obviously. You know what I mean? So within that happening, you know, that's how you get to learn that shit.
And relationships are so complex. Even the topic of polyamory, which I consider myself to be very polyamorous and very polysexual. So as a person who's polyamorous, you know what I mean? Like, there's not even any rules to the game, period. So I think that one lesson that I learned through my adversity in a relationship was,
all right,
if I,
oh yeah, for sure.
But no, I was just saying about the topic of polyamory, like when you're messing with multiple people, you just don't know. Like, you know, it's impossible to know what's what sometimes. Mm-hmm. But that's why communication's clear, like, has to be crystal clear, where it's like so simplified to where there's no, you know what I mean? Because I used to be a serial cheater until I became polyamorous. You feel me?
Right.
So there's just such a freedom that comes with claiming your sexuality, claiming what you feel, and doing so unapologetically. You feel me? And you know what, Empress, I'm gonna say, okay, what's the one thing that's helped you on your journey to more intense self-love, extreme self-love?
Um, I guess the most important thing that I've kind of taken into account was just investing into services that will allow me to heal. So there's this website called Therapy for Black Girls, and it'll pretty much help you to find a therapist in your local community. And I've been working with this woman for months, and she's been helping me to identify my own triggers and allowing me to see that the triggers that I've been experiencing stems from my childhood, which makes sense because, you know, my parents divorced and my parents didn't have the best relationship towards the end of their marriage. And I witnessed that at a young age, which allowed me to kind of go into my adulthood, picking up some of their traits into my dating life. But I also have like a spiritual mentor, like she's been helping me for the last 5 years. And we've done hella sessions with like making sure I'm okay, but also just other things that happen in my life. Like this lady helps me to alchemize my own situation so that I can bring different things into the world, just kind of helping me to tap more into my power as an individual, but most importantly, just as a person who is taking away all these barriers that were once placed on me, and knowing that the words that others might have spoke on me has nothing to do with me, but more so of what they have going on in their own lives, and just stripping it away from me at this age. Like I'll be 25 in May. It's like, wow, I've done a lot of work that a lot of people that are older than me have not even gotten a chance to do yet because they are afraid of how it looks to be in the dark. And you know,
True.
being in the dark, it's definitely, it can be like, you know, you just, I don't know, being in the dark is scary, but it's also beautiful because it's like without the darkness, how can you see the stars? And it's like the stars will always
Yes,
be
indeed.
find that star. And I'm genuinely saying, you have to find that star, and you will always see a star in the darkness. So
Right.
you know, just keeping that in mind while I'm going through these situations, it's like, okay, let me find this star and let me find that star. Next thing you know, it's sunny outside. And you know, my Leo rising is definitely speaking right now, but when that sun shines, I literally glow, and my birthday is around the corner, and I'm literally happy right now with life. But I feel like me being too happy and too free is allowing me to forget my responsibilities right now. Like I'm definitely feeling myself. Like I'm from Detroit, but I live downtown Seattle. This is a goal of mine since I was a kid, to live downtown, you know, to have that city life. And I'm doing it. And you know, it might have took a while, but it's like I did it when it was right. It was in alignment. And I'm like just hanging out with friends and going out to like different places. I'm traveling, like starting my, like I mentioned the businesses again, but you know, these are like personal accomplishments that I'm really proud of. And there's still more just, you know, under the sun. But you know, when I get the chance to bring those out into fruition, people will see it. But I know people can see it because there are people that are looking at my stuff on social media and adding me back as a friend. And these were people that I took away from my life. And now my page is open to the public. It's like, if you want to see what I'm doing, whether we're friends or not, by all means, go ahead and view it. You can
Nothing to hide, baby.
look at it. You can definitely look at it. So I'm just happy that I'm being okay with knowing that, you know, people will just be people. But what matters is that I'm me and that I'm secure in that. Like, of course, you're going to have your times to like bad back. And I feel like this is my time to eventually go into hermit mode when, you know, my birthday shenanigans and stuff are over with. But I just got to make sure I'm keeping focused and not allowing too much freedom to like get me back to situations that um, humbled me in the first place. So yeah.
That's beautiful, Queen.
And the bottom line is, it's you calculating your steps so that you make better steps. You know what I mean? It's you making sure that you're making good decisions, and that's a part of growth. You know what I mean? A part of growth, a part of learning about yourself, a part of being a better self. You know what I'm saying? Loving yourself. You know what I'm saying? And yes, and yes, to even to simplify it as much, but that's the best way to simplify it is haters gonna hate. Haters gonna motherfucking hate. Motherfuckers gonna be sitting on the side, talking shit, you know what I'm saying?
With their sour lips.
Whispering and pushing up their mouth on the side. But as long as your shit is shining, you just like, And at the end of the day, the main thing that's moving you is that I want to see you win too, but if you don't want to see me win, then fuck you. I'm just what? No, I want to see you win, but if you don't want to see me win, I can't do it. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? We both gotta cheer for each other. You can't do that. I can't be just cheering for you and cheering for me. Fuck that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a good way to move. And everything that you mentioned, even the fact that you have other people, again, it's a village. You have developed a village around you in order to make yourself a better you. And that should be encouraged around here, especially that we live in COVID times, and we all have to have a new way of moving around. We all got to develop a new way of being, a new way of creating self-esteem in a society that's encouraging you to say it, to kill yourself and be depressed and be by yourself and not talk to people. So, you know what I'm saying?
We're gonna choose to speak life.
The fact that you've actually taken that you're doing your due diligence to take steps and have people around you, have the village around you to encourage you and make you a better you, it should be definitely encouraged. And yes, if you're listening to this and you don't have a village, talk to us. You know what I'm saying? The village, because 9 times out of 10, I mean, literally, that's part of social media's power. The village is your social media. You know what I'm saying? The village is your social media. So talk to us. Talk to anybody that you know what I'm saying? Get on your phone, get on your live. You know what I'm saying? If that makes you feel comfortable, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, do it and say fuck anybody that has a problem with it.
It's so funny you mentioned the village, because Clubhouse, that's something that I have found to be very helpful during this pandemic. And apparently this app has been around for the longest, but I guess when people found out about it, everybody started joining it, and it's like you really are connecting with different people, and it's not like you can see their face, it's just a profile, and if they choose to attach their social media accounts to it, then yeah, but you're talking to these people, and you're actually gaining some sort of insight of how others think. And some of the times these people actually think the same, like they think just like you. And those algorithms, like, it's so crazy how they just put these certain people into your life and you just kind of collab with them and you guys are now talking. Like, I've known people on Clubhouse so far where they're just going out and traveling with these people and stuff like that, or just meeting up in person. And I even have a group chat with some of my Clubhouse friends that I speak to, and we're literally like a family now. And it's just crazy to see how this time is making everybody just find their community. And sometimes your community may not even be in the same state as you. Like, your community is in different places of the world, and you cannot be afraid to like be open to meeting new people that are outside of your community, because they might actually give you more support than the ones that are actually in the state. Like, I'm not from Seattle, and I've met people that are better, not even better, but just more so on my spiritual wavelength, or kindred spirits. We're just connecting with each other, and it's like, wow. I just imagine me just being scared to not even want to move out from my hometown and trying to figure everything out at such a young age, and actually being successful in that sense. And I still have more to go. Like, I still have more life to live. So if I'm doing this, imagine when I get to where I want to go. Like, I'm actually mind blown just to see where that's going to take me. But I don't know, like, life is beautiful in that sense. And I can really
rich, delicious.
Yes.
And it should be, as it should be. As it should be. You should be, every day it should be an opportunity, especially in the current state of business all around the world. You know what I'm saying? It's every day should be an opportunity. And again, haters gonna hate. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be people on the sideline telling you why you shouldn't do, you shouldn't think, you shouldn't feel. And you got to constantly say, fuck them. No, fuck you. I'm going to prove you wrong. And
I'm going to do this.
And when you jump on my shit, I'm going to give you my side eye and tell you to back the fuck up. The fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like,
hey,
no, I don't need
Empress.
you to. I don't need you to cheer me on now that I'm successful, because I believed in me. I believed in me. You feel me?
Another great outlet is music. Have you been in the studio lately, Empress?
It's funny, everybody keeps asking me, have I been to the studio? I don't know, I've been dodging the studio. Like, I've been dodging music. Like, I would rather just listen to people right now, but I do feel like since it keeps coming to me, maybe I do need to record something. But like, I've just been so, I don't know, I've been in this mode where I haven't even been doing my own personal responsibilities, just because I've been enjoying life so much. And it just feels good to actually do things and actually enjoy what you're doing, but knowing that you do have to make sure you have that balance of taking care of your business. But I've been having so much fun without taking care of business, but I'm trying to redirect my energy to where I can focus on both at the same time. So nonetheless,
wait a minute, hold on, because this is a surprise to me. Wait a minute. We singing something? We rapping?
She's a whole rapper over there with her modest ass.
We drop 8 bars or whatever. What we do?
Oh man, we dropping bars. Okay. So I guess with this rhyme, like, it's one of the first things that I wrote, and I was 15 when I wrote this. And it just made me realize that every time I say it, I just get like a different perspective of what it actually meant and where I was at that time in my life. But I mean, my sound definitely progressed compared to where it was now. I mean, compared to where it was then and to now. But I just have to put the pen to the paper and actually see what I can come up with. But yeah, this is the first one I wrote. So can you tell me what life means in your definition? Can you help me learn more so that I can be ambitious? Can you teach me nonfiction so I won't be fictional? Learning more from the world that has turned into a nothing more. Promising myself that I'm going to make my dreams come true. Being in the spotlight, tabloids, magazines, I don't care. As long as I make it there, I want to be a person remembered for loving all and having fun and helping those that don't know what they want to be when they grow up. As Nas say, you can be who you be. Yes, I can. That's why I'm saying this. And you can tell that I'm going in. I have a heart and it costs for all. So don't always fall for your flaws and all, because I will be there just like Mike Jack said. And yes, I really do mean it. Little quick 16. Call it a day.
That's what's up, my queen, my empress. That's what's up. So I'm going to just say this right now. When can I get you in the studio? I'll pay for the studio session.
Oh, man. Oh man.
I'm gonna try to get Kai's ass up in there too. I'm gonna get her. Kai got some bars. She's just too shy.
We will have to talk about the studio time because I can barely do my classwork right now. So, like,
yeah, handle yours, queen. Handle that school, queen. I get you.
Yeah, like I just been enjoying life, and I need that because I'm like so responsible and stuff like that.
And plus school, shit, plus school expensive. I ain't got to ask motherfucking University of Washington asking for a pretty 3 pennies and $5 and, you know, couple commas in there somewhere. I don't know. Either way, yes, pay for that, get all that education, all of that.
Get all that, queen. So proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Word, but definitely. But all right, so are you in a relationship now, and how is that going?
Oh man, so I am not in a relationship. I am single as hell. But you know, there are people that I would entertain as far as conversations and stuff here and there, but it's nothing that I would want to be serious. Because I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Venus sign, but my Venus is in Gemini. And I pretty much, I don't know, like, if I really care for someone, then I will be faithful and things like that. But if I'm not in anything serious, then I'll just date around. And I haven't dated around. I have not dated around, but I am going on my first date in a long time tomorrow. So I'm going on a date tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Because I was thinking the same thing too. And well, as far as just because we live in COVIDville, and you know, a person that is, you know, single in these times would have to say to themselves, wait a minute, how are we gonna date? How are we gonna do this? We gonna date on Zoom first? Or am I gonna let you sit like maybe 3 seats instead of, you know, the 6 seats that you gotta sit? Nah, because I don't even know you. You feel me? So, you know, and we COVID now. We in COVID, so I gotta take COVID. Let me take your temperature real quick. Let me take your temperature. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I was just wondering if you're doing all of that, or you just gonna say fuck it and go with faith.
Yeah, so the person that I'm actually going on a date with, he actually had his COVID shot. So he was saying like he didn't want to go outside until he got a COVID vaccine, and he wouldn't feel so bad about doing it. So it's like, okay, cool. Well, we can just go to a little bar or something, just chop it up and call it a day. And that's what I'm gonna do. Like, you know, I don't want to sound like ludicrous, but I do have different people in different area codes just because of like me traveling and stuff like that. But
no, that's how it's shit. Again, the best thing about your situation is if you're in that situation and you're honest with everyone, you know what I'm saying, and based on the fact that you being abstinent, so obviously you're not fucking nobody, so it's like, nigga, if this motherfucker want to take me out to eat and pay for it, who am I to judge? I
ain't mad at him.
I get hungry and he want to watch me eat. The fuck? So let's do that.
He wants to see how your lips move.
Let's go see, you know, how much food I like and what type of food I like. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're honest. Now, in your situation, like I said, people could sit around and judge and say, oh, this, that, yeah, ho, whatever. Again, women from back in the days all the way to now, if she fucks more than one man, she's a hoe. And it's like, but at the same time, the man wants someone who comes in the bedroom and knows what the fuck she's doing, and in order for her to know what the fuck she's doing, she had to had practiced a couple of times. I'm just saying there had to be some practice involved. You know what I'm saying? So the double standard is ridiculous at best. You know what I mean? So never mind the fact that we all in life, we all step on the wrong rock. We all kiss the wrong frog. You know what I'm saying? Some shit pops off, shit happens. We move on, we learn. But we do not, it makes no sense to hold the past over one's head, going into the future, because that past will never ever change. I could fucking say sorry till I turn blue green. The bottom line is, what happened is what the fuck happened. Period.
And we thriving, baby. Speaking of thriving, I gotta get off this call, my queens. I gotta check in with this family members, but much love. Thank you so much, Empress.
Nice seeing you again.
If anything, we'll just end it right here. What you can do is Empress, just let us know, your social media, you know what I mean? And if you know what I mean, anything that you want people to know about you that is positive, that they can continue to encourage, and not be so into the judgment, because again, the moral of the story is, people make mistakes, people move on, and life continues, and if you have a village around you that is encouraging you to be better about yourself, then that should be, you know what I mean, is the part that you should be celebrated. So go right ahead.
Yeah, well, before I say my social media, I just want to say, like, whoever's listening, wherever you're listening at, whatever the time is, just know life is definitely like a beach chair. That's one of my favorite quotes by Jay-Z. Life is like the dream, and you really don't want to wake up. And sometimes the dream can be beautiful, sometimes it can be a nightmare. And you just gotta know, eventually you have to wake up. And when you wake up, it's your choice of whether you want to be able to live in light while going through the darkness, or vice versa. But just know that your attitude just determines everything and how you will go about with things. And we all have something going on with ourselves. We all have lessons to learn. We all have things that we're battling, but don't allow your battles to get the best of you. And just take it at a time, one day at a time. That's all you can do. And when you actually take that time to look at yourself, you're actually removing layers from your own heart, so that you can be able to be a better lover within yourself, a better lover within your family, your friends, and eventually a partner. And know that things happen in time. And I would just cut it there. Now, as far as my social media account, if you guys just follow me on Instagram at genetically.bless, and bless is spelled BLSSD, then that's cool. Go ahead and see what I do in my life. I'm very private, so some things you'll see, some things you won't, but you will see what I want you to see, flat out. So yeah, that's that.
That's what's up. And me and Ruby, thank you for being on the show. We thank you for sharing your story. And the fact is, we thank you for bringing this lesson to anyone that's listening, because it is important. It's part of life. It's part of growth. And anybody that's growing knows that things happen, but you move on. And the fact that you have taken great steps to move on should be definitely celebrated. So, Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana, in the building. We thank you and we appreciate you. All right.
Take care.
All right, now have a good day. Later.